thank you for tuning in to yet another book review of mine. Since I had reviewed Dan Brown's latest book, Origin, in the last week, I thought it would be a good idea to review one of his older books just to give the readers a perspective of what to expect out of Dan Brown. And the book that I review today is one of his most famous books, The Da Vinci Code. Now, the Da Vinci Code had released in 2003 and is the second book in the Robert Langdon series by Dan Brown. This book has sold over 80 million copies across the globe and it has created as many controversies. The controversy surrounding this book increased multifold when a movie was made out of it in 2006. The opposition was so fierce that many countries had to ban the movie from releasing, citing the fact that it allegedly hurt the sentiments of Muslims and Christians. So let's see what is so controversial about this book that triggered so many protests. Let's begin the review. Now, the storyline begins with the cold blooded murder of the curator of Louvre Museum in Paris, who is found in a very peculiar position. His body resembles the position of the Vitruvian Man, which is a very famous piece of art by Da Vinci. Now, his body is covered with symbols, which is not visible to the naked eye, but one thing that is visible is the writing or the message that he has left in his own blood before he died, which reads PS, find Robert Langdon. Now, Robert Langdon, who incidentally happens to be in Paris for a conference, is summoned by the police in the middle of the night to the museum. Now, the police tells him that they want his help to decipher the real meaning of the message. But what Robert Langdon is not aware of is the fact that the police is trying to implicate him in the murder. Once Robert Langdon reaches the museum, he gets in touch with Sophie Neveu, who happens to be a police cryptographer and also the granddaughter of the dead curator. Now, she informs him about the real intention of the police and also tells him the real meaning of the message of the curator. What Robert Langdon does after this is he escapes the museum in a very dramatic way so that he and Sophie together can find out the murderer of the curator. Now, the clues that they pick up from the body of the dead curator leads them to many more clues and which reveals some startling facts about history of Christianity, history of Jesus Christ, and the bloodline of both Jesus and Mary Magdalene. What happens after this is the two embark on a chase, on a run across cathedrals and castles of Europe to decipher the various clues which lead to another clue. The storyline is very fast and it involves some very big conspiracy theories from the Christianity world, which includes some famous names like Sir Isaac Newton and Victor Hugo himself involved in all these conspiracy theories, and that is what has made this book very controversial. Some readers who have made their comments or who have given their reviews found this book to be an out and out found this book to be out and out against Christianity and have condemned it, and that is probably the reason of for all the protests that continue even today. The book itself is really good. I began reading Dan Brown with this book, and trust me, I couldn't keep it down for a minute. The story is so intricately weaved. Each and every character in the story is so involved, and the information which is given about all the conspiracy theories is so solid that as a reader you would not want to keep the book down even though you have no clue about these conspiracy theories until you have read this book. Dan Brown does this work immensely beautifully to carve out a lovely story out of all the conspiracy theories that have existed for years together. Uh, Robert Langdon and Sophie on their journey reveal many secrets which are fiction but then appear to be truth because of Dan Brown's writing skills. The end is completely unexpected. The suspense that is there till the end will surely blow your mind. I, for once, couldn't even imagine the end to be like it was in this book. Every time you think that the mystery has been solved, there is another suspense, there is another twist, there is another turn that is introduced by Dan Brown. Uh, According to me, this is probably the best book Dan Brown has written, especially if you are looking to start reading Dan Brown. This is the book you should be going forward you should be picking up. If I had to rate this book, I would rate this book a 4 out of 5. And the 1 point, although the book is very good, I reserve that 1 point for another book written by Dan Brown, which I would be reviewing later. So yes, if you are planning to start reading Dan Brown books, then this is the book you need to pick up. Uh, and I will be back with other reviews of other authors and other books of Dan Brown as well. So hope you enjoyed this review, and if you liked it, please hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the video so that I get encouraged to keep sharing such videos and such reviews. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Have a good day.